You're watching Drakewing Gaming. Enjoy the video.
Hello everyone, Nary here from Drakewing Gaming, and some of you know me on Twitter, The Gaming Dragon. Today I'm coming at you into the Let's Play episode of Far Beyond the World. So, the last place we left off, well... yeah... Ranok had just broken the news that he is going to be going on a patrol for a few days, and it's going to leave us alone here in the village with everyone. And of course, Orien is a bit, you know, hesitant. He's a bit hesitant to let him go, because that means he will be alone with new people. Well, he'll have Vul and Verissa here to help him as well. I'm sure Tano will definitely be keeping a close eye on him. But anyway, guys, let's jump right into it. Let me entertain you for the next 20 minutes, and let's jump right into it. Alarm Chan, you're up. All right, let's go. Consider it to a fault. I guess it only proves I should trust him more when it comes to my own well-being. He'd never want to harm me. I'm more certain about that than ever before. He pulls on the blankets and pats the bed. Night is nearly gone, but I think we should still try and salvage whatever is left of our sleep. I agree and approach the bed, slowly slinking into the linen. I place myself comfortably, but as the wolf tucks me in, my expression turns. You're not going back to the kitchen, are you? Huh? He seems rather troubled, trailing his gaze between the bed and the doors. I thought that we decided... To take some time apart, yes, but you haven't left yet. I try not to sound too desperate, but my pleading leaves no doubt about my state of mind. If you are to go away, I'd rather spend what little time we have together. He smiles in understanding. You know what? I feel the same way. He mutters as he crawls onto the bed. I blush as he clambers over me, his chest directly over my face. I feel flushed, and it's hard not to pull him closer, but he simply rolls playfully over to the other side. We lock our awkward gazes for a moment, until he mimics my earlier gesture and spreads out his arms. Hug? I thought you wouldn't ask. I chuckle, snuggling deep into his chest. If this is the last night together for some to come, I'd rather spend it deep inside his fluff. He laughs off my eagerness and embraces me softly as I listen to his thumping tail. Friends or lovers, I have no idea which, nor do I care at this point. I just enjoy being held by someone I feel I can completely trust and who trusts me in turn. Feeling his warmth once again is all I could have wished for after tonight's fiasco. His gentle breath helps me calm my emotions even further until I return to that sweet, sweet, blissful nothingness. Uh-huh. Sweet. Okay, alright, I guess that was a nice calm night for him. Speaking of tired eyes, God. I got up when I was supposed to. I woke up and... And then I was like, oh, you know, just 10 more minutes, and then I woke up an hour later. Yeah, you guys probably know how it be. Anyway. I open my tired eyes to see the sun already out in full swing. After my nightly escapade, getting up is a bit of a challenge, but feeling that the wolf isn't next to me causes my heart to race. I jump out of the bed in a panic, fearing he has left without saying goodbye. As I rush into the kitchen, I am met with the sight of the wolf setting up the table for 4. He even brought the chair from the porch to complete the set. Again, as it is his custom by now, even when having extra duties to attend to, he allows me to rest while he takes care of the morning prep. I sigh through a smile, looking at him with feigned annoyance. You should have woken me up. Well, you are a terrible liar. He scoffs. I know you were out of the house. Did Verissa tell on me? I snicker, pulling up a chair and taking a seat. That too, but I also could smell the woods and grass on your skin. Nothing escapes you, huh? Nope, you better get used to that. He winks while I look towards the hearth. He hasn't built the fire yet, and I wonder if he needs some help. Want me to prepare the food? We're not making a fry-up today. Too many people for that. Besides, Verissa likes lighter meals in the morning. Oh, what are we having then? I asked Vul to bring some cold meats and cheese. Ritter provided fresh bread. He points to a basket with soft rolls. I can smell their yeasty wholemeal aroma even here. That sounds absolutely delightful. I watch as the wolf fills up 4 tankards one by one. Despite the ale not being my favorite of drinks, I am looking forward to unwinding with the 3 alphas. My, what a company indeed. He sets the mugs in front of the chairs, placing mine next to my hand. I smile and nod in gratitude, really happy to see things go back to normal. Actually, maybe even better than normal as I breathe the newfound air of honesty between us. Ranok sits himself down in front of me, smiling and taking an idle sip. I follow his suit, although certain that drinking before noon would be frowned upon back where I come from. The wolf slides his paw towards me, his claws gently scraping the wooden table. He tilts it to the side, revealing another freshly picked dandelion. As a keepsake, while I'm gone, he explains. I smile softly, taking the flower in my hands. If you keep it in fresh water, it should last a week. I nod. This'll be a useful reminder I still have a friend, if nothing else. Pardon me, guys. So, did you rest well? More than I could have hoped so. I sigh, barely containing a smile. Good. I'm glad we were able to clear things up. Oh God, yes. I nod eagerly. We just take idle sips from time to time, not saying much, and the silence is slowly becoming awkward. I can see he's mulling over something, his uncomfortable expression betraying a rather pervasive thought. What is it? I ask, trying to nudge him. There's one more thing we haven't discussed, but I couldn't find the right time. Or the right words. I smile at him teasingly. I'd say you've done great strides simply saying what's on your mind. Yes, but this is slightly awkward. More awkward than the heart-to-heart we just had? He nods reluctantly, and I must admit, he has piqued my curiosity. Eventually, he simply sighs and stands up, approaching me with a hesitant gaze. It threatens to undo all that we managed to fix, so please keep an open mind about it. He pulls out a leather strap from behind his back, and I look at it confused. It has a metal buckle on it, resembling a very short belt. What's this? You have to have it on the next time you leave the house, he says with a slightly averse tone, passing me the item, and I immediately realize what it actually is. I have to wear a collar? I mean, I've definitely done that. I have one in a drawer right next to me. Yes. I exclaim, choking on my drink. Yeah. Okay, what's going on? Ranok's ears pull back, and I can see his grimace deepen. Remember when I told you that you were released into my custody? I just nod, narrowing my eyes. You said I'm your ward. Well, yes, but it also means you're my attendant now. What? I snap, raising to my feet and squaring off with him. It was one of the conditions of your stay. So that's why Trist is so pissed at me? Trist doesn't matter. Of course he does. I'm not taking his job. I cut him off with an angered stare. He's right. With this little stunt, he's very much undoing all that we just managed to patch up. It wasn't his to begin with. He responds equally sternly. He was thrusted upon me, like everything else in my life. My father wanted to show the others that I could be responsible, because having a ward is a sign of great respect. But I couldn't stand the guy. He was always silently skulking about, giving me funny looks as if judging me. Welcome to the club! I smirk ironically. Either way, I'm not going to be your attendant, whatever the hell that means. I shove the collar back into his paws and march off towards the windowsill. I lean into it, looking at the trees and trying to calm myself down. He's simply killing two birds with one stone. He gets to keep his path and gets a more palatable attendant all in one go. What do I get? I could be paraded around with a collar on my neck like a damn pet. What a joke. I'm so angry. The wolf sighs heavily while I try to give him the benefit of the doubt, but it gets increasingly hard. I can hear Ranok place the collar down onto the table and fidget nervously with his cloak. This is not a choice, Orien. The tribe demands it. He mutters quietly, as if really made unhappy by the predicament. You won't have to do anything. It's just for show. He mutters pleadingly. I'm not a fucking dog! Nothing's going to change, I promise, but without it, you cannot go outside. His voice takes on a more desperate tone, but I remain defiant. This is a complete indignation. I'm not wearing it! Well, it's either that or... He cuts off, clearly uncomfortable with what's to follow. Or what? I finally turn around to face him and the wolf winces. I'll have to mark you. Mark me? As in what? Brand me like cattle? Immediately I'm reminded of Trist's dumb barcode tattoo. Was that a mark he speaks of? What? No! He sounds almost offended at the insinuation. You'll just have to wear my scent. Am I not already? I splay out my arms, hinting at his musk covering me head to toe. That's when Tano's remark hits me. He doesn't smell like your ward. My eyes widen in terror as I realize how canines mark their territory. Oh, God, no! I cover my face, completely mortified by the implication. He flinches in embarrassment at my realization and looks away. Don't you even say what I think you're about to say. That's why I went with the collar instead. I just stand there, dumbfounded they would even suggest pissing on me as if I were a tree. What the hell did I get myself into? He avoids looking in my direction, although I am incredibly infuriated by this nonsensical situation. It's clear it makes him at least in part as uncomfortable as it makes me. I close my eyes, trying to remember that he hasn't done anything deliberately malicious towards me. And considering our conversation from just a few hours ago, I should place more faith in his goodwill. He's just playing a part in a bigger play, and my best chance is to follow his lead. I need to control my knee-jerk reactions and show him some trust. I take a deep breath, looking at his worried muzzle and sigh. I've trusted you thus far, I mutter, albeit still begrudgingly, and approach the table. It's a nice collar. I grab the little collar and look at it closely. Despite trying to do so with cynicism, I cannot help but admire the exquisite craftsmanship. It's quite well made, embroidered its edges with soft suede padding on the inner side as to not bruise the skin. The buckle is also beautifully crafted with a woven paw embossed in the middle of a full moon. I had made it just for you, true silver, with my emblem on it. This will ensure no one messes with you while I'm gone. And just like that, I'm reminded he's simply looking out for me, even if a bit heavy-handed. This is ridiculous, utterly ridiculous, I grumble, trying to put the damn thing on. I still want him to know that I'm not enjoying this, even if an odd part of my mind tried to sidetrack me. This is not kinky. No, not in this context, at least. We'll have to serve at the feasts, then? I huff, finally fastening the thing in place. It fits rather snug. The wolf looks back at me, and his ears perk up at my reluctant concession. No, that won't be the case. You're an attendant, not a servant. I'm sorry if the distinction is lost on me. You're supposed to keep sure that my personal needs are met, that's all. Whatever that means. So I will be able to dine with you. Oh yes, attendants are kind of like a professional companion. A silent companion, since they're not supposed to speak. That never hampered friendships to foster between a ward and his warden. Depends on what you're looking for in a friend, I mumble. So far it seems wolves value subservience and obedience, both easily achieved in a mute companion. Yes, granted your ability to speak our tongue is a perk. He nods with satisfaction, picking up on my train of thought. But that just makes us friends with benefits. I erupt in laughter at how apt an assessment this really is. I huddle next to the table, trying to contain my laughing fit. Personal needs, indeed. Orien, would you mind giving me a hand? I make a crude shaking hand gesture while laughing. This has to be the funniest thing he has said to date. What's so funny? Just the way you phrased it. I wave at him, trying to compose myself. My, what a way to cut the tension. I half wonder if it was intentional, judging by the return of his confident smile. Looks good on you. He tries to be teasing, and I decide to play along. It would look even better on you. I'm afraid it wouldn't fit. Yes, your neck is quite fat. It's not fat. He scoffs in feigned annoyance. It's just fluff. He raises his brow proudly, and I nod with a smile, picking up my tankard. I wet my lips with amusement, looking love-struck at the wolf again. It's really hard to keep a level head around him. Some time apart will help us temper our emotions. My thoughts go out to the funny bunny whose grudge against me becomes now more understandable. Trish had a place at the table, and now, thanks to me, he has to serve it. I mutter idly. I'm just trying to understand his annoyance. As your attendant, he had a cushy life, which I've taken away from him. That may be, but I never took Trish to the feast. The wolf protests through a scoff, his voice almost mocking. He's just a rabbit. And he might just as well have punched me. What did you say? My stunned reaction caused him to consider his words, and I can see his flirty demeanor changes into a panic. I mean, like, I'm just a human, right? I interrupt, looking at him with clear disappointment. By the moon, Orien. He finally snaps in annoyance. Are we really going to do this every time we talk? Do what? Bicker. I can't stand it. You're just like Verissa, always on my case. I'm not the bad guy here. I'm not saying you are, but you're not exactly a Prince Charming either. I'm not a prince. Obviously not. No wonder Trist is seething. If Ranok was dismissive of the bunny, seeing me showered with attention must be aggravating. If he bothers you so much, I'll have him dismissed from the tribe. He stifles a growl, and it makes me slightly worried. I might have had a bad run-in with the rabbit, but I don't want him banished, especially now that we both hold each other's secret. What? I can't believe my ears. I thought you were different. I don't understand your issue here. You say he bothers you, so I'm happy to get rid of him. He's not the problem here. You are. A soft knock stops our argument as we both lock startled gazes with the door. Am I interrupting something? We fall silent, exchanging looks and both taking a deep breath. No! Ranok finally calls out, clearly relieved by this distraction. For once, you're my saving grace. Or coup de grace. I scoff, watching as the wolf walks up to open the door. Verissa enters the cabin bearing a white garment draped over her arms. Your heated argument could have been heard all the way from the path. She looks at us with annoyance. At this rate, Tano and Trist are the least of our concerns. If your bickering continues, the whole village will learn the human speaks by tomorrow. Don't worry, I still have to leave. The wolf grumbles and looks at me with a hurt expression. I guess we both allowed our emotions to take the lead. And I'm being judgy again. Good. I think some distance is warranted after being forced into such tight quarters. Indeed. His voice is cold, and I feel saddened that we allowed things to spiral this far. Right. Both of you get rid of those frowns. She touches Ranok's chin, softly lifting his muzzle. I didn't come all the way here to breakfast with 3 fools. One is quite enough. The Grey Wolf smiles and I also try to muster one. I hope that'll do. She ruffles the cloth in her arm. That's all I've been able to scrounge up on such short notice. Scrounge up? This is quite exquisite. The wolf exhales, running his paw through the delicate fabric. I look with curiosity, seeing how the sun reflects and glimmers on the cloth surface, as Verissa sprawls it over the table. In all fairness, I am glad to finally be rid of it. Rid of it? Why haven't you worn it? Oh, don't you start as well. She smacks her lips in annoyance, looking towards me. She immediately locks onto the collar and smiles. I see you've got him to wear it. Good. You knew about this? I almost sound accusatory. Of course! To be fair, you're not wearing it yesterday wasn't lost on the gathered. You mean they couldn't immediately assume I'm part of the livestock? If you choose to see it that way. She shrugs. Now, up on a chair. The female points, as she drags one of them into the middle of the room. I nod reluctantly and jump on, trying to steady myself. Verissa passes me the garment, and I'm immediately surprised how soft it is to the touch. Put that on. It's a dress. I frown, finally seeing how it unfurls all the way down to my ankles. My, getting sharper with every passing day. That's not exactly what I had in mind. I throw an uncomfortable gaze to Ranok. First the collar, now this. What? What did you have in mind? The wolf asks impatiently, which makes me realize I might have sounded a little ungrateful. In all honesty, I don't know what I expected. A pair of jeans and a t-shirt, perhaps? Yeah, good luck explaining that. Thought so. Ranok scoffs teasingly, and I simply pull the dress over my head. I watch it drop freely, covering my body nicely, but it feels so strange to be dressed like this. Right, because you're so short, I'll have to fold up the bottom. The female wastes no time, pulling and tugging at different parts of the fabric, readjusting it to a new proposed height. Should it go below or above the knees? She looks up to me, and I'm not exactly sure. Ranok? She throws to the wolf, requesting a second opinion with a playful tone. Why are you asking me that? I don't care. I couldn't help but chuckle at how flustered he got, but when her gaze drills back into me, I share his awkwardness. I don't know. Well, if you don't want it to look like a dress, I'd say above. Then it can pass off as a tunic. I nod with little conviction in my voice. Relax, no one will even bat an eye. Besides, you've got good knees. Why cover them? She winks and I blush slightly, especially since I notice that the sleeves are cut open, with just 2 golden pins holding them together, not to mention how deep the neckline is. I've got some really nice legs. What about the top? Isn't it a bit too revealing? I'm not a damn seamstress. I'm going to shorten the base, but that's about all I can do. Can we at least get rid of this? I ruffle a long piece of blue cloth draped over around my shoulders. It's sewn into the attire. Why would you want it gone anyway? You have no fur, and the dress itself won't keep you any warmer. How's this flimsy dangling strip of cloth going to change that? I pull on the bit that cascades down right side of my back. It's a shawl, doubling as a cloak if you throw it over your shoulder. Oh, let's be nice. It makes me look rather effeminate, I mumble uncomfortably, causing her to laugh. Oh, the horror. She gives a taunting gaze to Ranok, who's been quite smitten with my appearance up to this point. Why are you looking at me? The female shakes her head and returns to regard me, putting 2 needles into her muzzle. Instead of complaining, you should be happy that you don't have to parade yourself naked anymore. Now you'll be clad in pure Tigris silk and Commission cotton. Commission? As in Egypt? They both blink and Verissa looks to Ranok in confusion. He's been doing that a lot, throwing random words around. Alright, I'm gonna pause it there, guys. That's been a new episode of Far Beyond the World. These two are arguing like an old married couple. It's adorable. Oh, God. What is it, Orien and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat? Oh, man. I'm enjoying this game. It's so much fun. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and ring that notification bell to the next video. I love you all. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye!